Welcome in. It is day 237, and you're speaking to the Meeples Champion. And today, we're going to be going over a game that I will not be having the regular pictures for. The reason being is I don't have the game physically. It's a game I played only on Board Game Arena, and while it was fun, I made the determination I'm not going to buy it. None of my friends own it, so I'm not going to be able to get that one physically to a table to take pictures, put up next to me here. But I will be getting shots off of Board Game Arena and sharing those with you to show off what exactly this game is. So the game is called Kingdom Builder. The concept of the game is pretty interesting. So you essentially have a board that has 4 quadrants, and every time that you play the game, you have 8 different pieces, both double-sided, and you just shuffle them up, you put them out, and you have a randomly put out board, meaning that you don't know what your area is going to be, how much you're getting of each location. You've got desert, you've got forest, you've got the water, you've got the volcanic area. You've got different types of abilities on each of these boards. Abilities meaning there's spots you can go to that are going to be a guaranteed 3 points for having a person touching it. Well, depending on the rule set. And there are spots that are going to give you special abilities that when it gets to your turn, you always can place out based on whatever you get for a terrain. So you get a forest, you can place in a forest. And you can place 3 of your people. But if you have eventually on turns gotten people next to certain shrines, the following turn and all the turns going forward, you get that shrine's ability. Sometimes it says you can place a person into any forest, or you can pick up somebody that you currently have placed out and you can place them now anywhere else on the board that's in a desert. Lots of opportunity there. You also, at randomly, will put up top 4 scoring cards. That's going to determine how you score for the game. Sometimes you get a point for every single horizontal line you have a person on. Sometimes it's vertical. Sometimes it's for the longest line of houses in a row that you have. Sometimes it's based on houses that are in their own groupings, meaning you have a group of houses here and then there's nothing touching them, and then there's another group here and then there's another group there. Sometimes you get points based on certain buildings that you're touching, certain topography that you're within. There's a lot of scoring cards. You'll get 4 of those. It's completely random, making every game unique. The idea when you place a person is that if you've placed somebody down and then the next card says you have to place in forest, the first thing you have to look for is, do you currently have anybody in or around a forest that'll allow you to get into another forest space? If you do, you have to keep branching off until you have no more options based on that. Then, once you have a topography such as a forest, and you don't have any forest touching any spots you currently own, now you can jump to any forest on the board and start new. So that's how you can branch into different group areas, is wipe out a whole topography so that you don't have anything touching it, and then jump back to it. So it's a really interesting game. It's not bad. It's just a lot more simple than the box makes it seem. It's a big box for a far simpler game. That being said, why don't we jump into our 7 categories and see where this is today. When it comes to the art, I don't mind the art. I actually thought that the box art, that had grabbed me for years. Every time I was in a store, I'd be like, man, this Kingdom Builder looks interesting. I wanna look into this. I almost bought it on various occasions, but I didn't know much about the game. And then when you see it set up, now I've never seen it in person set up, but I've seen it on the Board Game Arena setup. It grabs you again. It looks interesting. I think the art does what it's supposed to. Thumbs up. When it comes to those components, I did look into this online just to be sure what I was dealing with. Now, the houses are all wooden. Otherwise, everything you're dealing with is large cardboard, actual boards that you put together. And then it's going to be cardboard pieces for anything covering up certain spaces. And then your really nice cards. It seems like it's pretty good quality. No complaints. Thumbs up. Your price. Kingdom Builder is available. I believe it actually has quite a few expansions as well to give you extra options. And Kingdom Builder is one of those games you're going to find it at least 3, maybe 4 out of 5 board game stores. I have seen it on occasion in a Barnes & Noble, but I don't believe I've ever seen it in Target yet. And of course, you can get it online. And the likelihood is you're not getting that base game for less than 40. I'd actually think you're going to spend more like 50 on it. No more than that, though. That's your range is 40 to 50. There is a game in there, and it's not too expensive. So personally, I think it's acceptable. It's just I would give it a try. Go to Board Game Arena if you can and try it there because while I didn't dislike the game, I made the determination that's not a game I want in my collection. It's a fun game, but I'll play it on Board Game Arena if I want to play it. So when it comes to that price, I think the price is acceptable. It's just not for everybody. Thumbs up. Your difficulty. This is where it lost me. I don't think this is for kids. I think it's a little bit too complex for them. And I don't think it's for experts. I think it's far too easy for them. So you're eliminating the two smaller categories. And then when you're looking at your beginners and your experienced, I think beginners can play this game, but I think that this game is a lot of little details, and it may be one of those things where it's not the best intro game. It's not an extremely difficult game. It's just not great for introductory. So it kind of hurts a bunch of the beginners. At the same time, well, it's got a lot of little things to learn. I don't feel like it gets too complex. So it's weird where it's like it's almost like it doesn't have a level 2, a level 1, and it doesn't have a level 3. It's a level 2 game. And because of that, it's not great to introduce somebody with, but it's also not great for the experienced players because this is one of those games that it's kind of like, okay, I'm experienced now. I've jumped by it. So for me, you have this very small grouping of a little bit more advanced beginner, a little bit lower advanced experience that are the only group that you're really looking at as really loving this for its difficulty. It's just not enough for me. It's got to be a thumbs down. Replayability. Part of the reason that the difficulty hurts is because it makes it a very quick game, and you don't expect that when you pick the game up. That being said, that does mean you can play a whole bunch of games in a row. This is a game you could easily play 2 or 3 games in a row of. So if you like the game, I see replayability here. Thumbs up. Keys to victory. Well, now that's the one that's interesting. Again, it may not be too complex, but you have your randomness of what are the 4 corners of your board and what are the 4 scoring opportunities. That combo keeps mixing around, making every game a little bit different in how you can strategize, making it so there's no guaranteed winning way. There might be a massively overpowered individual game mechanic because something's based on a certain topography that just so happened to dominate on the 4 that came out. That's possible. But outside of that, really, you're pretty evened out and you just have to really figure it out as you go. It's not something where you just see it and it's obvious. You find out as you go. So thumbs up on those keys to victory. Unique. Is the game unique? There are many games that randomize the board. This only does it with 4 pieces. This isn't like one of the hexagonal type setups like a Catan. So that's not unique. There's many games that shift up the rules every game. So, that's definitely not something completely unique. And as far as putting out the houses and stuff like that, I mean, we've seen that in all bunches of games. And for me, well, I understand what this game's going for, it doesn't feel unique. I see it and I immediately go, oh, there's an easier or more complex version that I can play in different directions. And I'd rather play one of those. And because of that, this game just can't get it for unique. Thumbs down. Overall, what do I think? I think it's a nice little game. I think it's one you could try out. If you get a Board Game Arena, just go on, try it, see what it lands for you. It's not always great to try a game first time on Board Game Arena. It can be tough. I just so happen to have it where me and all my friends were preparing for games, watching how to plays, and then all going and learning together, and we'd all be on mics together. So it helped us. But to go play a game today when I don't have my friends on there, I tend to have a little bit of difficulty because I don't know who I'm playing with. I'm not talking and working out the game with them. That being said, I do think it's a great help. So don't be afraid to try that out. But in my personal opinion, this is not a must buy. If you want to try it, give it a try, but not a must buy at all. Well, it has been day 237. We've been speaking about the game Kingdom Builder. And you've been speaking to the Meeples Champion. Like, share, subscribe, And check down below in the description where I'll be adding an Amazon link in case you want to get this game for your collection. Until next time, I'll talk to you tomorrow.